This Korean memory chip company, SK hynix, just rang Nasdaq's opening bell without leaving Korea. Same company, two markets. How and why? Here's where it gets stranger. When the company offered its shares to U.S. buyers, Reuters reported demand was more than 7 times the shares available. So what do global investors see in a memory chip company? So how can one company trade in two markets? The mechanics take 15 seconds. A U.S. bank holds the Korean shares and issues American receipts for them, called ADSs. Think tickets for the real shares. Same company, one more way to buy it. Nasdaq's own words point to the why. It calls SK hynix a major supplier of high-bandwidth memory, HBM, for AI chips. 3 letters. Keep them in mind, because once you see what HBM does, this whole listing makes sense. The M in HBM stands for memory. Think of memory as a small workspace. It holds the few things the computer is using right now, within reach. Storage is different. Storage, like an SSD, is the pantry. It keeps lots of files for later. RAM is the small prep counter. It holds the next few things the computer needs. Ask an AI a question. A physical computer first pulls the right data, the words, images, and instructions it needs, onto that nearby workspace. There, the heavy math runs on a graphics processing unit, or GPU. Picture a huge kitchen with many cooks working at the same time. But cooks cannot start without ingredients. For AI, those ingredients are data. If the data is far away, the GPU has to wait. That wait is the problem. A regular RAM counter is small, and a giant AI kitchen needs more ingredients, much faster. So the tray has to travel a long way, and the GPU sits idle. HBM solves that by stacking working memory right beside the GPU. Instead of one tray slowly arriving from far away, HBM keeps whole stacks beside the chefs. More data arrives at once. That is high bandwidth. This is not just our kitchen metaphor. SK hynix says HBM helps close the gap between fast computation and slower data delivery. Now the listing makes more sense. Every AI answer depends on data reaching compute fast enough, which puts a memory company near the center of AI infrastructure. So this listing is more than a finance event. SK hynix says it wanted broader access to global investors and closer ties to the U.S. AI industry. And ADSs give U.S. investors a simpler way into a key piece of that infrastructure. But memory is one link, not the whole chain. AI still needs chips, data, networks to move that data around, giant buildings called data centers to hold it all, and electricity to keep it running. So when the next AI headline drops, trace it back to the physical system. Data, chips, memory, networks, power. Not to pick stocks, to see which problem needs solving next. Every AI headline is really a story about a system. We'll keep unpacking them here.